Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me as always is Cheryl D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock related queries. And don't forget that today is Friday and we're going to be getting you Buy Now, Sell Now Pathshala as well with Kunal Bothra. But before that, let's have a quick look what the markets are up to. So Cheryl, record high coming in for both the benchmark indices and what a move in Bank Nifty.
Absolutely. A very good morning to you, Shrishti. And if you are rubbing your eyes and trying to check why we both are looking like we're wearing twinning. Yes, we are twinning because that's the way how the markets are also looking like at this point in time. Given the fact that we are seeing a very dark shade of green on the screen, given the fact that we've hit a fresh record high level once again in today's trading session, Shrishti. So yes, it merits a double shade of green.
Well, certainly the viewers should also give us some credit, but it was indeed a coincidence, and what a coincidence for the market move.
Yes, absolutely. Or rather than coincidence for the market, actually, if you look at it, it is in tandem with what the global markets are doing. Certainly. Also. You have the US markets also that hit record high levels, and today we have also hit a fresh record high level. Take a look at what Sensex is doing. It has hit that coveted 84,000 mark on in the intraday trading session. We are a tad bit off those levels, but nevertheless, once for first time ever, we've actually seen those levels come in on the Sensex. Let's take a look at the rest of the market and what rest of the markets are doing at this point in time. Let's put the spotlight on the mid cap and the small cap index and which direction are they actually moving in. Just the same way how the markets are moving, that's the benchmark indices. Both of them seeing good gains about 0.7% as we speak. Nifty Bank also is moving in tandem with the benchmark indices. You have Mahindra, JSW Steel, Coal India among the ones that are gaining in trade today. While on the losing end, you have Grasim, Cipla as well as TCS that are seeing a shade of red at this point in time, Shrishti.
Well, certainly that's how the markets are moving in. Even from the broader market space, a lot of stock-specific action. But with this, viewers, let's move on and let's go across to Kunal Bothra then and have the learnings for today. Kunal, very good morning. Take us through what have you got for the Pathshala day today.
So today's topic is on mean reversion, and it's a very interesting concept because when stocks go into a corrective phase, like what we've seen over the last few days and last few weeks, where many sectors, many stocks, they get back into a corrective phase, there comes a point where these stocks come back into a mean reversion zone, where the risk reward starts to look a lot more attractive and the stock goes back into its historical patterns. So what we are looking today is a very simple indicator of mean reversion, one part of the mean reversion, which is using 50-day moving averages as a classic mean reversion point. Now this red line which you can see is the 50 DMA for the stock price. In this case, we've taken Oracle Finance OFSS as a stock. You look at the tendency of the stock coming very close towards its 50-day moving average and how it changes its stance or continues to move up higher depending on the size of uptrend the stock is going through. So at this point of time, for example, here you can see that a stock after breaking past above the 50 DMA goes into an uptrending mode. The stock retests its 50-day moving average, starts off moving up higher. So which means closer to this 50 DMA becomes a very strong buy on dips or a mean reversion zone for the stock. Even at current levels, when the stock breaks down below the 50-day moving average, this acts as a resistance point for the stock price, which means again, when the stock goes into a downtrend, the stock reaffirms the fact that this 50-day moving average is acting as a mean reversion zone for itself. On the verge of a breakout, the stock confirms a breakout over here, and then after a series of uptrend, the stock again comes back towards the corrective phase, reverts back almost exactly at its 50-day moving average, moves up higher, again a retest towards the 50-day moving average where the stock apparently has taken support and seems to be looking like the stock is stabilizing at current levels. So when you see time and again a stock reiterating a very simple kind of a behavior or a parameter, we expect that that's a behavior as or a good strategy for a mean reversion zone. We look at one more stock which on current charts is heading towards a very similar kind of a mean reversion point. This is HDFC Life. As you can see, again, when a stock confirms a breakout of this key moving average, after uptrend, the stock retests again, comes back towards its 50-day moving average and starts to move up higher. Again, the stock in the recent past, where from 760 approximately, corrected back towards its mean reversion point closer to 700 levels, spent some time over here consolidating, and now is getting ready for a breakout yet again. So this is a classical sign of how mean reversion shapes up and how this could be taken as a good strategy for traders who are looking at buy on dips.
Alright, thank you so much for that, Kunal, for teaching us something new today in this edition of Pathshala, that is a mean reversion. On that note, viewers, we will slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. When we come back, we will be joined by experts. Kunal is already on board. We'll also get a fundamental guest and take all of his stock-related queries. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now. We have our experts with us today. We have Kunal Bothra, who's joined us on the technicals, while we have Mr. Chokkalingam, who's joining us on the fundamentals. Remember, viewers, you can write to us on the number that will be flashing on your screen. Each time you write to us, remember to mention your name, the stock that you're looking to invest in, mention that name as well. And if you already invested in a stock, mention the buy price, the quantity, as well as the time horizon. In that way, our experts will be able to guide you better. And talking about our queries then, the first query that I have is coming in from Sangeeta. She's writing to us from Pune. She wants to know any metal or pharma stock that she can buy right now for a period of about 1 to 2 years. Mr. Chokkalingam, let me take this query to you. What's your view coming in? Which of a counter from the metals or the pharma pack do you think that she can buy right now?
Yeah, in pharma, she can consider Dr. Reddy in the large cap and Indoco Remedies in the small cap. As far as metal is concerned, I would suggest wait for September quarterly results and then look at stocks like Hindalco.
All right then, moving on to the next query, and Kunal, this query is coming in from Yuvraj from Chennai, and he has bought Angel One 100 shares and he's at a mild loss of 5% right now. Good to hold for the long term, or would you advise to make a shift to Motilal Oswal?
No, I think it's a good stock. You should continue to hold on. My sense is that the stock has gone through one of the worst phases in the last 8-9 months, correcting from 3,600 to almost 2,000, 2,200 mark. It's seen a good recovery in the last few days. Last few weeks, and I think at current levels it looks attractive. My suggestion would be to hold on to the stock if you're a medium-term investor.
All right, this one is coming in from Sagar. He wants a combo view coming in for Godfrey Phillips. He's holding in excess of about 5,200 shares from sub 1,000 levels that he had purchased in the year 2020. He's saying that stock has been testing patience for long. Now it finally looks like it has rewarded with a bumper move. He wants to know what should he do. He's already booked partial profits around 8,000 levels or so. Kunal, do you see some more steam left in this rally? And also for you, Mr. Chokkalingam, he wants to understand that do you believe the cigarette volumes and sales will rise in coming months? Kunal, first you go with the chart check.
So it still looks attractive. Yes, the stock has run up quite steeply in the last few months. I think from 4,000 levels to almost 8,400 or 500 mark, the stock had tested. But it's on the back of much higher volumes than the stock had seen prior, which means that there has been fresh influx of buyers into the stock. Now, after such kind of a steep rise, there could be a possibility that the stock may first go into a corrective phase or a consolidation phase before it starts to resume a longer-term uptrend. But the long-term structure still looks attractive for Godfrey Phillips. So maybe near-term pause, but I believe eventually the stock over the maybe 2 years, 3 years kind of a time frame should do exceptionally well and should be much more higher than current price for the stock.
All right, Mr. Chokkalingam, what's your take coming in on Godfrey Phillips? Do you think that along with the chart check being supportive or charts being supportive for this one, do you think fundamentally will the cigarette volumes and sales also contribute to the growth for the company?
Fact is that cigarette volume is not growing in double digit. It is struggling for the last several years. And second risk factor is that, the welfare expenditures of the governments are increasing enormously. And, there is also need for cutting down some of the taxes for the product which are used by consumers, public directly, which means ultimately in the medium to long term, there will be a lot more pressure on product like cigarettes to increase the tax. That's my firm view. So therefore, the investors can consider selling them if recovers further 5 to 10% from current level.
All right, moving on to the next query. And Mr. Chokkalingam, what's your view on RVNL? Madhukar from Hyderabad is already holding 200 shares. His buy price is 126 rupees. Good to hold on, or can he rather make a switch to Dabur or GAIL for the next 2 years?
Definitely RVNL is a sell in my view. Valuation comfort is not there. Between Dabur and GAIL, since he has asked this question, probably Dabur would be better. Because if you see GAIL in the last 5 years, whenever oil price falls, its a petrochemical segment shows very poor results. Now, crude oil price is down almost 30% from 52-week high. So in my view, there could be little, unexpected poor performance from petrochemical segment in relative terms. So therefore, investors can consider Dauber to gain.
This one is coming from Jude. He's writing to us from Mumbai. He wants to know about HAL, Kunal. 17 shares that he's bought of Hindustan Aeronautics at a price of 4,649 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should look to average, hold or exit.
See, it depends on your time frame. If you are looking at this as a short-term play, then the stock may continue to get into a consolidation. But I am of the belief that these defense stocks have restarted a major cycle of longer-term uptrend. So there could be points where these stocks may correct 30%, 40%. Some of them have corrected, I think, more than 50% as well from their 3-month swing month highs. But those are sharp corrective phases, and that's a natural course of price action after sharp periods of uptrend for the stock. That should not deter a long-term investor. So I think current dips, if you're a long-term investor and you're okay to hold on to the stock for the next 3, 4, 5 years without looking at the drawdown on an immediate basis, then I believe that at current levels also the stock could be a good buy on dips if that's the time frame and the risk appetite which you're looking at.
Moving on, and Kunal, once again coming to you because the query is from Dr. Parvez Jafar, writing all the way from Abu Dhabi. He's holding 200 shares of Apple India, bought at a price of 1126 rupees. It was back in September 2021 when he entered, and after almost 3 years now, he is sitting at a profit of 50%. Good to hold on to this counter, Kunal, or any advice to switch?
Yeah, I would suggest to hold on to the stock. After quite some time, the stock has made a very strong breakout. The previous highs for the stock, multi-year highs, was around the 1380, 1400 mark. And the stock has substantially gained good volumes in the recent leg of the breakout of this 1400 odd resistance. So I would suggest to hold on to the stock from a longer term play.
Alright, this was coming from this was coming from Gautam. He's writing to us from Mumbai. He has about 4,000 shares of Indus Towers, Mr. Chokkalingam, at a price of around 290 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should exit from Indus Towers right now and look to in fact buy Bharti Airtel. What's your view both on Indus Tower as well as Bharti Airtel? We know that yesterday that Supreme Court order, after it was uploaded, what exactly happened with Indus Towers. It saw a sharp crack on back of the order, the Supreme Court rejecting actually the review petition coming in. So what's your take now? It makes sense to exit from Indus Towers. Our viewer is making a profit in this one.
Bharti Airtel is better than Indus Tower. Whatever happens to the regulation, let us not forget the fact that mobile telecom industry is, oligopolistic with only 3 players dominating, and also the government has share in the revenue from telecom. So it's a common interest to see that, the tariffs are revised upward steadily in a stable manner over the years. So therefore, Airtel is far superior to Indus Towers.
All right, that's the take coming in on Indus Towers. But the next query that I have is coming in on Birla Corp, and Mr. Chokkalingam Deepak Dave, who is a senior citizen and a long-term investor, is holding 125 shares of Birla Corp and his buy price is 1,050 rupees. Good to hold on, or can he go ahead and add more of this particular stock?
Birla Corp, if I am not that bullish in the short to medium term, because the cement industry is not doing well. The margins are under pressure if you see the last two quarters. Therefore, I would suggest, since he's a very old person, probably the Coal India would be a better bet. It's trading at a single-digit PE, and dividend yield is also close to 5%. Otherwise, if we can take a little risk, you can buy KCP Limited, which is another cement company, but it has got an enormous value inside the company in terms of land bank, most profitable sugar business, profit-making hotel business, all that. So if you can take little risk, you can prefer KCP. If you want to be conservative, you can go for Coal India.
All right, let me take this next query. Let me give a break to Mr. Chokkalingam, though I have a query for you, but let me take your view, Kunal, on this one. This one is coming in from Sudarshan. He wants to know if he should hold 280 call option of BEL for September 26th expiry. He wants to know what would be the target be for this one around those levels.
So if there is a short covering wave for this PSU stock, then I would probably believe that the stock can come back to at least 292, 294 mark. So which means assuming the Greeks of the options I would believe that your option should be priced say closer to 12 or 14 odd rupees, the 280 call option. So I think that could be a target which you can look out for. But the bigger if is that if there is a short covering wave, so it looks like that there is buying which has come back into the defense pack, but then that has to result into short covering for the pace of this rally to accelerate. And given the expiry move, that pace of rally generally accelerates on the expiry week, led by short covering.
All right, that's the take coming in on BEL, but let me move on and take the next query, and this one is from Shekhar from Bangalore, and Kunal, he wants a short-term view probably for the next 6 months on Tata Motors. He has bought 100 shares and his buy price is 1,077 rupees, wholesale or average at this point.
So over the last 2 months, I was a bit skeptical on the near-term trend for Tata Motors. I think closer to 1100 mark. I had also advised booking out profits for Tata Motors. But now with the stock coming back to that 940-50 mark and almost exactly at its 200-day moving average today, it looks like that the mean reversion part for the stock is completed, which means at current levels there could be a point where the risk reward will start to look attractive. We are also seeing a good wave of short covering across many of these auto stocks, led by the four-wheeler majors like M&M, two-wheeler stocks like Hero MotoCorp, even the tractor stocks like Escorts, etc. So I would believe that on that front also, buying Tata Motors at current levels as well as in a staggered approach could be a good strategy.
All right, Mr. Chokkalingam, let me come to you for this next query. It's coming in from Gajanan, and he wants to know about Aadhar Housing Finance. He's been holding on to this one since IPO. He also has Bajaj Housing Finance at a levels of around 165 rupees per share. He's considering exiting from Aadhar Housing and in fact put that money into Bajaj Housing Finance. Do you think this strategy makes sense?
If he likes a momentum investment, short-term investment perspective, if he has, definitely it makes sense. Yeah, if I give sell call on Bajaj Housing, it might still go up. It's trading at around almost, little more than 8 times price to book value. So for any fundamental analyst like me, it would be very hard to, give a buy call on Bajaj Housing. So therefore, if he is a short-term trader, yes, he can do that. Otherwise, I would not touch either of them.
That's the view coming in on this space. Kunal, let me just quickly come to you. I know Bajaj Housing Finance, you won't be able to speak on this because there is very limited chart history for this one. And the move also this one has seen actually post-listing. But Aadhar Housing Finance, have you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen the charts for Aadhar Housing, and it looks like the stock is coming into some sort of a recovery mode, because from 375, which is the recent swing low, the stock is coming closer to the breakout of the previous highs of 475. The good part about the stock is that the entire sector is looking attractive, and it looks like that we could be at a multi-month, multi-quarter uptrend for the HFC stroke NBFC names. So I think in that sense, maybe the stock can find its mojo back and continue to move up higher and break past above 475 mark.
Alright, Kunal, once again coming to you, because this query is coming in from Jay from Mumbai, holding 300 shares of BASF India, but his buy price is 7,500 rupees. Kunal, your take on this one, because his buy price was very close to its recent 52-week high levels. But do you believe that this has the potential to go back to those levels again, as well as give some returns?
Yeah, it looks like. So, the stock is going through a time-wise correction. Sometimes, the correction extends for few weeks, and sometimes it extends for even few months. So it looks like that the stock is getting ready for a potentially multi-month consolidation. Maybe a retest of the 50-day moving average, which is 6,500 mark, 6,400 mark, could be possible for BASF. So if you're okay holding on to the stock even at those price points, then it makes sense to hold on to the stock for a potential retest of the previous highs of 7,500 and beyond.
Coming back to you actually, Kunal, this one is coming from Dr. Radha, who's writing to us from Bangalore, wants to know about ICICI Bank, has about 280 shares. She's not mentioned her buy price, but what's the short-term target that you are seeing for this one?
So we are flagging this off that ICICI Bank is one of the best performing private sector banking name in the recent past, where the stock moved from I think sub 1200 mark to now I think 1300 plus levels where it's trading right now. So it still looks one of the strongest name so far in terms of the price performance. I think even at current levels, the momentum is very strong. If you're looking at this as, say with a time horizon of 3-6 months, then I would probably place targets of 1380, 1400 for ICICI Bank. But then if you're looking at this as a longer term play, then I would believe that even 1600 to 1750 mark could be a potential longer term target for ICICI Bank.
All right, the next query that I have is on HCC, and Kunal, sorry, we're once again coming to you because this one is from Rakesh from Bangalore, and his time frame is just 3 to 6 months. He's already holding 5,000 shares, buy price at 50 rupees. Should he stay put or sell at this point?
See, the point which has happened for HCC is that there was a strong technical breakout many months back. The stock moved from, I think, 35 levels to as much as 55, 57. But then I think post the news flow in terms of results, etc., there was disappointment and the stock has gone through a correction. This generally is a process of 2-3 months or at least 1 to 1.5 odd quarter before the stock ends a corrective phase and then restarts moving up higher. So I think we are in the midst of the third month of correction for HCC. Maybe another 1 month of correction could be in line for the stock price, but once the stock, I'm assuming if it bottoms out, say closer to 37 mark, that could be a very attractive territory for you to go for an averaging out if you have a time frame of 6 months approximately.
All right, this next query that I have is coming in from our viewer Kuldeep, and he wants to know about Siemens India. 17 shares he's holding from the levels of 7,700 rupees per share. He wants to know what should the strategy be now with this particular counter. What's your take, Mr. Chokkalingam, when it comes to Siemens? Does it make sense for him to average out at these levels or exit out of it or stay put with this one? Because with the rest of the capital goods space also, Siemens has also seen a correction.
Yeah, definitely he can shift to L&T. The valuation comfort is more in L&T. And not only that, almost half of the profits are from IT business, half of the profits are from infra. So therefore, when whole market is at a record peak, so L&T is the perfect fit for both from a defensive perspective and also from a beta perspective. So I would recommend a shift from Siemens to L&T.
Okay, that's the advice coming in on Siemens as well as L&T. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break in this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, and let's keep it going with all your stock related queries. Then we do have Kunal as well as Mr. Chokkalingam with us. And Mr. Chokkalingam, I'm coming to you for the next query coming in from Vikram, and he's holding shares of BSC, and his entry price was 3,750 rupees. What a one-way rally what we have seen in this counter, and even today the stock is showing good move. Is that an exit or hold at this price point, Mr. Chokkalingam?
One can exit. The stock has rallied almost 2,000% from 3-year bottom. And if you go by the price of NSE available in the unlisted market, BSE commands extraordinary premium, which I believe not justified. And also, the regulator is likely to come out with a lot of restrictions on F&O. The recent uptick in the bottom line came only from F&O business for BSE. So I believe there is a potential risk from possible initiatives, restrictive initiatives on F&O segment. So therefore, I would give a sell call on the stock.
All right, let's move on. Then let me take this next query coming in from Subramanian. He's writing to us from Chennai. He wants to know about Balmalori Investments, which he's purchased at levels of 91.1 rupees per share. He wants to know whether it will give good returns for the longer term. What's your take, Mr. Chokkalingam?
There are two twin companies, Balmalari Investment, Balmalari Company. Balmalari Investment is a holding company of Balmalari Company. And we have by recommendation on Balmalari Company. We prefer Balmalari Company, more than 150-year-old company, Balmalari Company. And the dividend also fabulous from Balmalari Company. And its joint venture in UAE is doing extremely very well. And so I would recommend Balmalari Company because it also got a very good liquidity, and which is very important in this market condition for small and mid-cap stocks. So considering all these facts, I would strongly recommend Balmalari Company. Personally, also we hold it, and Economics also holds Balmalari Company.
All right, Mr. Chokkalingam, once again coming to you because Shiva from Chennai specifically wants your take on Adani Ports, your view for the medium to long term, and can he enter at current levels?
Better to enter if at all there is some correction in the stock, because the market is at peak. There is a possibility of some market correction, that time we can enter, because there is no doubt Adani Port has extraordinary positive outlook in the long term. The way India is growing the economy and opportunity for export as well as import to grow, definitely Adani Ports will do very well in the long term.
All right, this one's come from Dr. Zeenat Kausar, who's writing to us from Ranchi. And Mr. Chokkalingam, actually, I'm coming back to you because it's on a newly listed counter, Unicommerce eSolutions. Have you checked this one out, the balance sheet or the fundamentals of this company? She's already got 200 shares at a price of 205.
I know one thing, that 99% of the newly listed IPOs do not have valuation comfort, but honestly speaking, this particular company I have not evaluated. But generally, I am very apprehensive upon all these newly listed company at the exorbitant premium. Maybe next time I can come with the preparation.
All right. The next query that I have, Kunal, is from Sridhar from Coimbatore, holding Nazara Tech, 250 shares from a price of 980 rupees. He's also highlighting that maybe it was the breakout level for this particular stock. If you can reconfirm that, as well as what are the near-term targets and supports that you foresee for this?
Yeah, it looks attractive. The stock did confirm a breakout about that 925 mark on closing basis on the monthly charts. Volumes so far this month has been on the higher side, and that generally is an indication that the stock should move up higher over the next subsequent series of maybe a couple of months or over the next 6 months to 1 year or so. And my sense is that you should continue to hold on to the stock. Difficult to place a target, but I think if this uptrend slowly and steadily gathers momentum, then we could be looking at the stock coming close to that previous monthly closing highs of 1400 also.
All right. This next one is coming in from Jagannath, who's writing to us from Bangalore, wants to know about Bank of India at a price of around 135 rupees per share. Kunal, 3,500 shares is what he has of Bank of India. Should he stay put with this one?
Yeah, I think of course if you bought at 35 rupees, then the stock is already at 110 plus
135, 135.
Okay, sorry. So if it's 135, then maybe I think it could be a time where the stock could probably be a good averaging opportunity. Say closer to 100, 105 levels could be a good averaging opportunity for Bank of India. If that happens and the stock comes closer to that 100 mark, it could be almost at a 20-25% divergence from its 200 moving average. That could be a good trigger for you to go for a contra buy.
All right, Kunal, BK Call is already holding shares of Aarti Industries, 80 in quantity, buy price is 680 rupees. He wants to know what is the best level actually to average this particular stock.
So I think current levels actually could be good levels where you can look to average. It seems like the stock over the last 2-3 days has found a bottom for itself, because in the last 2-3 days of this heightened volatility for the markets, where peers from the same sector for Aarti Industries, they had gone through a corrective phase, but the stock had remained a lot more stagnant at the 570 mark. So it seems like the selling which started off in the month of August for Aarti Industries from 750 odd levels, that selling seems to be now absorbed or over, and the stock could be at a very good risk reward point. So I would suggest to average at current levels.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Aarti Industries. Let me take this one from Geeta, writing to us from Dubai, wants to know about Zaggle prepaid. She wants to know whether it's a good time to enter this one. She's okay to stay put for the long term, but does it make sense to enter this one? Mr. Chokkalingam, Zaggle, have you seen this counter?
Yeah, I have seen it. I do not have any valuation comfort in this stock.
All right, Kunal, Mr. Chokkalingam doesn't have any valuation comfort in this one, but on the charts, how is Zaggle looking to you?
Yeah, so recent breakout is quite strong on the back of higher volumes, but it looks like that the stock is a bit more erratic in terms of price trends. There was a point, for example, in the month of March, March, where the stock moved up to 400, but then in a matter of the next subsequent 2-3 months, the stock fell down almost 30-40%, coming back towards 250 mark. So that could be a point of concern for a stock like Zaggle. Current high for the stock is around 500, which means if we look at a similar kind of a comparison, then maybe the stock finds a bottom closer to sub 400 mark. So risk reward is very important over here. Would not suggest a buy at current levels. On dips could be a better strategy.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Zaggle. But Kunal, the next query that I have is coming in from Lakshmanan, and he wants a view on Bajaj Auto after the stellar move, almost close to 12,000 rupees now. Would you still advise a buy in this counter?
It's tough to go for a buy at current levels, but you can maybe start buying some quantity over here for Bajaj Auto and then add on dips in case if the stock provides that kind of an opportunity, because it's very the stock on the short to medium term charts looks to be on the on the much higher side of a risk reward territory over here. So I would probably suggest that buy very small quantity over here, so just so that you can try to ride the near term uptrend if it happens for the stock, and on dips I think would be a better strategy we can look to average.
All right, then that's the take coming in on Bajaj Auto. But with this fears, it's once again time to slip into a very short break in this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, and let's keep it going with all your stock related queries then. And Kunal, the next query that I have is coming in on AU Small Finance Bank, because Rajesh Menon has bought the stock at a price of 747 rupees, very close to the current market price. Good to hold on for a month at least?
Yeah, good to hold on for a month. But it's not one of the best banks in terms of the charts. So as we were discussing, that ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, even Kotak Bank to a larger extent are the ones which are looking attractive. So you can consider to buy these names if in case you already have them in your portfolio, or at least few of them. Then I think AU Bank could be a good hold for the next 1 month, expecting the stock to come back towards the previous highs closer to 785 to 800 plus mark.
All right, Kunal, once again coming to you, because this one is a very short-term query coming in from Bhumi, holding HDFC Bank, buy price is 1660 rupees, can hold for a month. What to do in this one and what's expected on the charts?
Yeah, very bullish on the stock for HDFC Bank, and my expectation is that the stock in this leg of uptrend should be able to surpass above the previous highs, which I think is closer to 1800 mark, 1794 to be precise. So I think if you can hold on to the stock from a near-term play, then I believe in this leg of uptrend, the chances and the probability is pretty much on the higher side for the stock to break past above the life highs.
All right, the next query that I have, Mr. Chokkalingam, is coming in from Divya from Ambernath, and she wants your advice on any two stocks that you like amongst the basket of stocks that she has in mind, from Jubilant Foods, Ola Electric or Bajaj Housing Finance. Any stock that you would prefer for a fresh investment next 2 years?
Any positive view on all these three. These are all momentum stocks. Of course, Jubilant Food is a little better. So among these three, if she insists only on these three, probably the Jubilant Food alone I can suggest to her.
Jubilant Foodworks is something that can be bought at current market price, maybe for the next 2 years. The next query that I have, Kunal, is coming in from Sushant Gupta. And between REC and Mazgaon Dock, after the recent fall, any stock that you like for a fresh investment to be added for the next 1 year time frame?
Both of them are attractive. If you have 1 year plus kind of a time horizon, I think both of these stocks would probably be at an attractive risk reward point.
Right. The next query that I have, Kunal, is coming in from Gauri Gupta, though we have already addressed the fundamental take coming in on BSC. But Gauri Gupta wants a technical check on this one, already holding the counter from a price of 3,500 rupees.
So difficult to now suggest a fresh buy on BSC. What you can do is just hold on to the stock. But then after such kind of a steep rise in the last 3-4 days, we've seen the stock moving up by 30% from 3,000 levels to almost 4,000 mark where the stock had tested today. So I think after such kind of a steep rise, there could be a chance that the stock may get into a correction. And your buy price is also at the midpoint of this price rally for BSE. So it makes a lot of sense to try and book partial profits at current levels and keep on booking up as and how the stock moves up higher.
All right. The next query that I have, Mr. Chokkalingam, is coming in on L&T. Kabita Das from Guwahati has bought the shares at a price of 3,777 rupees, and she's holding 600 shares in quantity. What's your take on this, Mr. Chokkalingam, and any target prices as well on this?
Yeah, definitely. Even at current price, it's a buy. Target price could be little more than 4,000. As I already mentioned, it has got the benefit of infra play as well as defensive IT play at a consolidated level, because both account for roughly 50% of the total profits. And also, our firm view is that the retail investor should hold on at least 50% of the equity asset allocation in large caps like L&T in the short term. So this is, I believe, an ideal stock for retail investors at the current juncture.
Right. The next query that I have, Kunal, is coming in from Richie from Andhra Pradesh, and Richie is having around 50,000 rupees in cash, and he wants a suggestion in which stocks can he go ahead and make a fresh investment for the next 1 year time frame.
So I think buying banks at current levels could be a good strategy. So I think something like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank also at current levels could be a good play if you have that kind of a time horizon. You might consider adding on to the the larger cap auto stocks. So for example, Tata Motors at 950.60 looks as an attractive bet as a contra buy at current levels. And from the other high beta pocket, I will call also defense stocks, especially the likes of HAL, BEL, also looks attractive from that kind of a time frame.
All right, that's the take, and those are the top bets coming in from Kunal. But Kunal, one more query coming your way, coming in from Tina, and she's holding Bank of Baroda from a levels of just 60 rupees. What should be the strategy? She is indeed a long-term investor, but after good returns in this one, is that still a hold or exit at this price point?
I would still suggest a hold on Bank of Baroda, and I think after this last 4-5 months of underperformance, there should be a point over the next 1 or 2 months where you might see the stock playing a catch up and covering up the underperformance for itself. So I would suggest a hold.
All right. The next query is from Akhil from Delhi, and Mr. Chokkalingam, he is a long-term investor and wants a suggestion on any of your top bets from the chemical space, and specifically your outlook on Tata Chemicals. Do you find the stock attractive at current levels?
Even now, the chemical sector is going through a lot of difficulties. Unless European economy recovers, the chemical sector is unlikely to, come back to what it used to be a couple of years ago. Still, we have coverage on GNFC, Gujarat Narmada Fertilizer and Chemical. So, though name as a fertilizer, more than 90% of the profits are from chemical industry, and it's a huge cash-rich company. And a lot of expansions are happening in the various segments of chemicals. I believe this is one of the best chemical stocks to buy and hold for next to 1 to 3 years. It also gives an excellent dividend.
All right, that's the top bet coming in from Mr. Chokkalingam from the chemical space. But switching to IT then, and Kunal Chandrasekhar is already holding 100 shares of Birlasoft. His buy price is 705 rupees. Can continue holding it for the next 6 months. So any targets to look out for?
Yeah, for the next 6 months, you can look out for targets in the range of 700 to 725. The stock is still going through a patch of correction. Maybe over the next 2-3 months, you might see the stock coming back towards a retest of the lows of 560. And once that bottom gets solidified, then you might probably expect the stock to come back towards 700, 750 plus mark.
All right, that's the take coming in on Birlasoft. But with this, we are completely timed out in this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. Thank you so much, Mr. Chokkalingam, as well as Kunal, for joining us today and helping all our viewers resolve their stock-related queries. But with this, viewers, it's a goodbye from me and Cheryl and the entire team who put the show together. Thank you so much for watching.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.